It's 7:30 a.m. John pours his coffee and sits silently at his desk. Sunlight slants across the hardwood floor, catching the steam curling from his mug like it's trying to escape the day ahead. His laptop hums, hungry for his attention. But he's not thinking about the meeting or the inbox apocalypse waiting for him. He's thinking about last night, when his words vanished midair like smoke. He was mid-sentence, telling a story about the office printer losing its mind again, when someone cut in with a louder voice and zero interest. Conversation hijacked. Nobody blinked. Nobody said, "Hey John, finish your story." Just silence. That kind of silence that claps louder than any insult. He laughed like it was fine. But inside, it was a paper cut to the soul. One of those moments that doesn't bleed, just lingers. This morning, he stares into his coffee like it might have the answer. Why do I keep losing the room? 10:02 a.m. A teammate swings by to ask about a project. John nods, listens, then here it comes. They mix up a deadline. Old John would have pounced. Quick correction. Probably actually, and a smug little nod. Like a human spell check with a pulse. But today, he breathes. Catches the instinct midair and lets it go. Yeah, those timelines can get confusing, he says, voice soft like he's setting down glass. And just like that, the air changes. The teammate relaxes, opens up. Suddenly they're talking. Not just deliverables, but anxiety, burnout, real stuff. John remembers reading about the social brain, how even subtle cues of judgment activate the amygdala, shutting down trust before it begins. When we correct people mid-flow, we're not just adjusting facts. We're triggering fight or flight. Today, John trades correctness for connection. And in that tiny space of emotional oxygen, something grows. Lunchtime. John sits outside, sandwich in one hand, phone in the other, watching squirrels chase each other like tiny, chaotic maniacs. A friend texts, "Totally bombed the interview. Felt like a fraud." John stares at it. Old reflex, type something shiny and supportive. "You've got this. Next time for sure." But he knows better now. Platitudes are sugar, sweet, fast, forgettable. He types, "Damn, I've been there. That gut drop after a bad conversation? Brutal." Pause. Want to talk about it? Hit send. Pocket the phone. It still amazes him how often people just want their pain mirrored, not minimized. Mirror neurons fire most powerfully not during triumph, but in shared vulnerability. The biology of empathy, built not from fixing, but from feeling. 3:47 p.m., conference room. Beige walls, buzzing lights, the air thick with PowerPoint fatigue. John's pitching an idea he's spent a week obsessing over. His voice is steady, words rehearsed to death. But halfway through, he sees it, the fade. Eyes glaze, bodies shift, phones appear like magic tricks. That old panic rises in his chest like bad sushi. But instead of pushing harder, he does something insane. He stops, takes a beat. "Okay," he says, "real talk. I stared at a blank doc for hours trying to make this not suck. Pretty sure I changed the font 6 times out of desperation." A beat. Laughter. Real human laughter. Head tension returned. Not because he nailed the pitch, but because he let the mess peek through. Vulnerability hijacks the default mode network, the part of the brain that drifts, critiques, analyzes. But honesty? That wakes people up. That makes them stay. Evening hits. John's on the train, forehead resting against the window, city lights flickering past like thoughts he doesn't want to chase. Across from him, a couple whispers and laughs in that effortless way some people have. He watches them, not jealous, just curious. How do some people draw others in so easily? He thinks about the day, about the 1,000 micro-decisions to show up without the armor. He's exhausted, but in a good way, like he's been real all day. No masks, no flexing, no verbal gymnastics. Just honest words, honest presence. The prefrontal cortex doesn't light up from perfection. It lights up from resonance. When people speak from their nervous system instead of a script. And oddly, it feels like power. Back home, his neighbor calls him over for a drink. It starts casual, just 2 guys leaning against a fence talking weather and gas prices. But something cracks open. One story leads to another, and suddenly they're talking about heartbreak, therapy, what it means to feel like you're not enough. No scripts, no filters, just the sound of 2 people being seen. And John notices it again, that rare silence. But this time it's full of trust, full of everything that happens when nobody's trying to win the conversation. Just share it. Oxytocin isn't just a love hormone. It's a trust builder, a biological high five that says, "I see you, I get you." I'm with you. Later, lights off, phone face down. John lies on his back and lets the ceiling stare back. He rewinds the day. The catches, the cracks, the effort, and something clicks. Maybe being heard isn't about being louder. Maybe it's about speaking from the kind of place that doesn't demand applause. Just resonance. You stop trying to impress and you start to connect. You stop performing and people finally see you. And even better, you see yourself. He smiles. Not the fake kind. The kind that sticks. Because today, he didn't just hold the room, he held himself. If this felt like a mirror you didn't know you needed, stick around. Hit subscribe. We don't do perfect here. We do human.